Alright, hey there, another quick Forerunner tutorial for you. Again, I'm working on a 2003 Toyota SR5 Forerunner. And today what we're going to be doing is replacing the battery hold-down kit. As you can see, this battery is pretty much on its last leg. Got a lot of corrosion up here from the battery acid. This thing has just been through quite a bit. You can see it's rusted through and corroded. So we're going to yank that. We're going to pop in this new battery hold-down kit. And I'll have a link in the description box below where you can link to that on Amazon and get a good deal. Okay, so basically what we need to do is first remove this old kit. And I've already loosened up one side. I had to do that off video because it was rusted shut and really had to yank in there. But basically what this is held down onto your bracket right there, that guy down in there. And it's held down by one of these bars. And so basically as you loosen this up, that bar will pull free. And you can pull it up, and you can see it's just a hook right there with basically that's a 10 millimeter. I'm just using a standard crescent wrench. Again, I'll have a drop down box if you're interested in buying crescent wrenches in the description box. So that loosened up one side. Got to go after this, again, really rusted, and so I'm going to do this off camera to pull this side free, and we'll get this out of the way. But again, there you go, loosen this side, 10 millimeter both. And both of these should pop up really easily. Okay, I've loosened up this other side. You can see it's held down in a little slot right there, and basically it just wiggles free, and that'll pull up, and you can see it mirrors the other side. Again, this thing is corroded and nasty. So we're going to leave that on the ground there, and we're going to install a brand new one. Probably clean up this area quite a bit first, and then pop on this new one. Okay, I've wiped down the main part of the battery. You can see it's still really dirty. In fact, I believe my battery terminals are going to need a little bit of scrubbing down, and since I'm working on the battery right now, we may as well do that. So what I'm going to do is take, again, that number 10 or a crescent wrench, and I'm going to loosen up these two bolts right here, and then we're going to use a battery cleaning tool, which again I will link in the description box below to clean those. Okay, I've loosened these enough now, finger loose I should say, where you can kind of wiggle this connection free and get that out of the way. Again, you can see all the corrosion, so we're going to go ahead and clean that up. Okay, this is your battery terminal cleaner. See, it's got some wire brushes over a metal insert. Basically just fits right over the battery terminal, and you can just twist it and it'll grind down the corrosion on top of the terminal there. Again, I'll link to this tool in the description box below in case you guys want to pick one up on Amazon. Okay, there you go. You can see all that nasty corrosion coming off there. So what I'll also do is I'll probably get in here with a little bit of sandpaper and just kind of get that nasty bottom corrosion out. But same thing with this side. Just going to stick that on there and go around it here a few times just to clean that terminal nice and good. Now, next thing you're really going to need as well is a wire brush, if you have it, or some sandpaper to, again, just get inside these terminals and really wrap around with the sandpaper and get all that nasty corrosion off as well. Okay, not all of us have wire brushes, so what I'm just taking a really light, fine-grained sandpaper, going to roll it up here fairly tight, and basically you can use it to stick it down inside the terminal here and get a good solid sand off of the out of the middle. I'll just do that a few times here, as well as in our other one. Okay, last thing we're going to do is just take your sandpaper again. We're just going to go around the edges of the terminals here, making sure we get all that corrosion that kind of went down the bottom. And we'll just go around these terminals here, and as well as this one, and and clean those up a little bit. Okay, now that's looking a little bit better. Not perfect, but a lot better. We've gotten a lot of the corrosion off. What I'm going to do is going to go ahead and reattach our battery terminals, and we're going to tighten down those nuts, and yeah, we're going to be good to go. So again, tighten these back down with our number 10, and then we're going to put on our battery hold down kit. Okay. All right, from here we're going to put on the new battery hold down kit. Again, this one's designed to go underneath the handle of your battery. It's a rubberized, and it kind of stretches a little bit here with these two rubber plugs, support plugs that kind of go underneath there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on both sides, kind of edge it in place. You can see it kind of wraps around like this. And what I'm going to do is, again, with your little red plug underneath there, I'm going to hold this one in place. I'm going to grab one of my support rods here, and this is going to go back down into that same hole down in here. You can see down right, so you're just going to slip it in there first, and then it's going to go up through your rubberized handle, and you got to be a little bit careful here with your plug. And once you get that situated down, I'm going to go ahead and put the butterfly nut on to hold it in place. And then I'm going to slip my, you know what, you may not need, this one actually looks like it doesn't need the support plug, but I'm going to keep that in place there for a minute, and let's see how the other side goes in. Okay, so again, you have the length of your second rod, and that's going to slide right back in this little handle piece here, and then slide over your rubberized plug handle, and that's going to go right on the other side, and nice and snug in place. I'm going to take the other butterfly nut here, and we'll get that on the end and get it snug down. And so actually it looks like this is held on really well. I'm not going to need these two spacers. I'm going to stick those over to the side, and it's going to go right down into place there. Make sure these both these nuts are on there well, and that should be good to go. Now, because one last thing to show you here, because one side was a little bit longer than the other, see it actually stuck up pretty well. I took a hacksaw and just hacked that down. I'll need to file it out so I can actually get that screw up in the future. But because it's a universal kit, both of these rods were the same length, and this side is actually just a little bit shorter. So just a heads up too, you may need to adjust your rod, or else your hood will not be able to close. Make sure when you're hacksawing, though, you have your terminals disconnected. You're going to get some sparks when metal touches metal. So there you go. That's a new battery hold down kit for you. Cleaned up the terminals. Again, this battery it's going to need to be replaced here. In fact, you can see these rubberized things are pretty bad. Not the best setup here, but this should give you a good idea of how to change your kit and get it into place. All right, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more tutorials. They'll be coming soon.